So, hello guys. Now I'm just gonna give answers to some of the NodeJs questions, right? So here are approximately there are 8 questions. So I'll just explain these questions in detail, right? So what is Node.js and how does it differ from the other server-side technologies like Apache or PHP? So you know what is Node.js? Node.js is simply what I can say is it's simply the runtime environment for JavaScript. So what I can say is the JavaScript can be run outside the Chrome as well. Since when you are trying to run the JavaScript files, it usually runs in the Chrome itself. So in Chrome there's a built-in V8 engine in order to run the JavaScript files. So in order to run the JavaScript files outside the Chrome, Node.js is better. Node.js is used, right? So what is callback function in Node.js and why they are used in asynchronous programming? So what is callback function? So you should know what is a callback function. So simply what I can say is a callback function is simply the function giving as argument to the other functions, right? So they are commonly used in asynchronous programming in order to get what I can say is in order to get the requests, right? So non-blocking. So for non-blocking events, so these callback functions are being used rapidly, right? So what's the purpose of package.json in Node.js? So can you explain some of the key properties found in this file? So what I can say is, so this package.json usually maintains the dependency managements of the JavaScript files. So right, so for example, uh, or it'll stores the script descriptions as well. So some of the key properties were the script description and it usually stores the project definition as well. So for example, it usually it for example what I can say is yeah it stores the details like name, uh, email or etc. So it stores the basic details, right? So it has the property in order to store the basic details, right? So what's the difference between require and import statements? When and why would you use one over the other? So this require statement is used in widely in Node.js part. So but whereas this import is used in order to uh, import some of the libraries. So these import statement is mainly used in ES6 ECMAScript. So since it is a modern files, so if you are trying to access the modern files, so I prefer import is better for if you are using some of the modern files. But if you are working with the old versions of the Node.js, then you can use require. Yeah, it's well and good, right? So let's move on to the next question. What is middleware in the context of Express? So these middlewares are the functions that have access to the request and response. So these middlewares are basically used in the Express.js. So you already know what is this Express.js, right? So for example, mm, these middlewares can be used to add the request, or it can be used to remove the requests. So it has the accessing of the request response cycle. So it mainly works for Express.js, and it'll works for this. It has the property. I mean, what can I say is it's used to add the functions, add the functionality to the Express application, right? So this middleware can be used to add the functionalities to the Express, right? So let's move on to the next question. What is the RESTful API? So what this RESTful stands for representational stack, I mean sorry, representational stack transfer transfer API. I'm sorry. right? So how can you create one using Node.js and Express.js? Explain the main HTTP method using in RESTful API. So this RESTful API mainly works with HTTP requests. So you already know what is this HTTP requests, hypertext transfer protocol requests. So this RESTful APIs mainly works with HTTP requests, and it has some of the methods like get, post, put, and as delete. So we have already used widely this get and post methods in our Node.js. So in the previous projects, we have been widely using or working with this get and post methods. So put and delete are, so this HTTP request, this RESTful APIs allows the HTTP requests to access these properties, put, post, get, as well as what I missed is delete, right? So what's the purpose of Node package manager? So we already know, in order to install or in order to download any modules of the Node.js, Node package manager is the initial package manager in order to download these libraries. So we'll just use npm install express, npm init y, or it can be used to update, okay, to update to the latest features, to update to the latest versions of the node, or latest versions of the modules of the node. So we can easily update, or we can easily access them, or we can depending on our project, it can be used in order to import the files or libraries from the package. So this node package manager will helps us in order to so that we can get used to them, right? So the last but not least, why it's important to hash passwords in a web application. So you already know passwords is the main aspect in, for example, when you're trying to log in, so they'll give the password, they'll ask for password, right? So we need to create our own passwords. So yeah, for example, they'll just restrict us. For example, what I can say is, yeah, they'll give a 8 to 8 word password. It should consist of a capital letter and a small letter, a numerical, as well as a special character, right? So if your password consists of all these parameters, then we can say that our password is strong or good enough, right? So that is so simply we cannot keep our password as all ones, all zeros, all twos, etc., etc. So it's not good way. It's not good way. So this hash passwords is used so that they cannot breach our passwords. So one hacker can't hack our passwords. So in order to restrict from those, we just use these hash passwords, right? So that's it, guys. Thank you.